You know, ego and intuition go hand in hand. It's a very interesting topic because most people think, I need to rid myself of ego. If I'm really going to understand how my intuition works, my ego can't be present. I'm actually here to tell you that's completely not true. The biggest secret you will learn about yourself today is that every single one of you is an intuitive. Anywhere, any place, any time. That we are all tapped in to the same energy that I am, to you are, you're intuitive, you're really intuitive in the red. So these are the sort of things that it's fascinating because we always think, well, Tara, she does those sort of things, or Sylvia Browne does that sort of thing. You all can actually tap into that same energy. And the simplest way to know which one you are is actually the way that you communicate with people. It's the slang you use. So for seers, you'll say, see what I mean? And it's constantly repetitive, or yeah, or something like, I feel ya, or do you feel what I mean? Or people that say feel a lot, they're feelers. Do you hear me? Those are hearers, right? You know, it's very fascinating, but and it's interesting because you can always work with other people and listen to what they have to say or how they're expressing themselves, and you go, oh, that person's a feeler, because it's constantly what you're repeating in words of slang. So after about 10 years of working with intuitive children and other intuitives myself, I really started to see that pattern, and I thought, geez, that's the simplest way to know how people are actually communicating with each other and letting you know what intuitive ability they are. It's like, hey, how do you feel? Or I'm feeling this, or do you hear me, or you see me? I'm going, oh, that's what you are. So it's really fascinating. So I think, you know, if you take the time to really pay attention, actually we'll do that today, but really watch for your, you know, for anybody, your friends or your partners, because it's neat because you can help pinpoint it because we don't always listen to ourselves, right? So we'll go, hey, you're a feeler. So this afternoon when everybody's out, start telling each other what you are, which is so much easier. The other really important thing when it comes to intuition is your ego. As you all, well, most people, I know a lot of faces in the room, I'm all about loving your ego. Kind of sounds strange, but your ego actually allows you to embrace why you're here. Your ego gives you everything that you're not so that you remember why you're here. So your greatest fears become your greatest accomplishments, and fear is the root of ego. So what's beautiful about ego is that when it's telling you, like for example, Tara, you're going to get nervous to go up on stage, right? That's my ego. That means I'm going to do really good and I'm really exciting. So it's always the opposite of what's actually going to happen. It always gives you the worst possible thing, but it's always going to turn out. So that's what's really positive about it. So I think, you know, when you love your ego and you listen to it, it actually allows you, sorry guys, also allows you to hear your intuition clear. Because your ego always speaks second and your higher self speaks first, always, without fail. And one of my things I usually tell people is it's like women. You know, I buy a new pair of jeans. I got these really sparkly Rock Revivals, got bling bling on my bum, looks really good, right? So I put them on and I'm looking in the mirror and of course I'm doing this. I'm like, God, I really like those jeans. And all of a sudden my ego goes, yeah, but you know, that little saddlebag there, you know, hide that, get some Spanx, you know, so it's always giving me something that's never gonna be good enough, right? But in reality, it means the jeans look good because my higher self spoke first. So I don't listen to that. I'm like, thank you, ego. I really appreciate it. You know, it's almost like teaching it like, or treating it like a child that's having a tantrum. I always hear what it has to say, but I never choose what it's saying. Because if I don't listen, it's going to be like, you know, as a kid, mom, 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 until you finally listen, right? And that's all you got to do is just say, okay, thank you, ego. Oh, there you are, having a tantrum. Great, heard what you had to say. And then it stops. It literally stops. But when we run away from it, we actually create it to be more of a monster, which is quite interesting. You know, it's interesting because ego does use certain terminology too as well. So these are really important, so you all want to write this down for sure. Should, could, would, but, how is absolute ego. It can never understand. It never has a solution. It's always seeing problems. So it's always, well, how am I going to do this and how am I going to do that? That's ego without fail.